figure who's... He thinks Hitler may have been right. He talks about preparing for civil war. Now he hopes to establish a whites-only community right here in Tennessee. Eric Orwell has already made headlines with the whites-only community he's now building in Arkansas. Tonight, as part of his ongoing Confronting Hate investigation, our chief investigative reporter Phil Williams uncovers some exclusive new details about this controversial figure and what he has planned for the volunteer state. And Phil, I understand you had some tough questions for this man.
That's right. I had questions about his plans for that whites-only community, questions about his views on Adolf Hitler and the Holocaust, questions about his ties to the white nationalist Patriot Front and his talk of civil war, as well as questions about his upcoming appearance at a white nationalist conference right here in Middle Tennessee.
No Nazis, no KKK, no fascist USA!
We were there last year as anti-fascist protesters raised their voices in opposition to the annual gathering of white nationalists at Montgomery Bell State Park. The American Renaissance Conference is scheduled to return to the park in mid-November.
We have a community for white Americans who value their European ancestry.
Among the speakers is a far-right figure who's recently made headlines around the globe with his plan to create a whites-only community in northeastern Arkansas.
Of course, we're concerned about the ability of white Americans to have their own communities in the future, and I think this is a discussion that needs to happen.
Eric Orwell told me he wants to test federal fair housing laws, which is why he created a group called Return to the Land as a private membership association, in other words, a private club, with plans to create other whites-only communities.
Right now, there are a few hotspots that we're honing in on: Idaho, Tennessee, the Ozarks.
You say Tennessee?
Yeah, that's one of those hotspots.
And where in Tennessee are you looking at?
A few different locations: eastern Tennessee, central Tennessee. So I'm not going to give away specific zip codes or anything.
His website shows a map that includes the eastern part of Middle Tennessee and East Tennessee that make up Appalachia, which would include Jackson County, where Christian nationalists are also hoping to establish their own community, giving some of the same reasons Orwell gives for choosing the region.
But Appalachia in general has a lot of founding stock Americans who are very rooted to the land here, you know. People who came over more recently might not have that very deep sense of white American identity. We have to look for ways where we can securely have our own territory that is actually ours.
Presenting himself as a thoughtful person, Eric Orwell chooses his words carefully when describing his personal beliefs. How do you describe yourself? Are you a white supremacist, white nationalist, neo-Nazi, any of the above?
None of the above. I'm a white identitarian. I think that ethnic identity, racial and ethnic identity, is a big part of who you are.
While portraying himself as someone mainly interested in preserving white heritage, Orwell has developed a close relationship with the white nationalist Patriot Front, which wants to turn the U.S. into an ethno-state for whites only. What is your relationship with the Patriot Front?
I believe that they are good faith actors. I think their ambitions for seeing political change are noble, even if I don't completely agree with their strategy or perhaps ultimate objective.
But photos posted by Patriot Front show Orwell was one of the speakers recently at the group's first national conference alongside neo-Nazi Robert Rundo. This is Rundo attacking a counter-protester at a Trump rally in 2017. And here at the Patriot Front conference, that's Rundo on the left. To the right is Orwell giving the fist-over-heart salute.
Life, liberty, victory!
The official salute of Patriot Front. You had a post on X on September 15th that said folks are willing to call for violence but unwilling to join one of the few groups on our side that know how to organize and deploy men. Who is that group that you were referring to?
I was indirectly referring to Patriot Front.
As our News Channel 5 investigation has revealed, Patriot Front has built a compound in East Tennessee where it trains men to fight, although it claims it's just a way for them to develop themselves personally. Patriot Front does a lot of training for hand-to-hand combat. Do you think they're in a position, want to even prepare for battle for civil war?
Well, I'm not against preparing for civil war because it may happen. Not of our choosing.
Orwell has argued that this iconic photo of U.S. Marshals escorting 6-year-old Ruby Bridges as she integrated at a Louisiana school represents what he calls the immorality of forced integration.
And what they did was they chose one social model and said, you're all going to live this way. And it just wasn't really a democratic process.
Meaning the white people didn't get their way?
Yeah, the Democratic majority, if they don't get their way, that's undemocratic. A Jewish journalist released an article today attacking my character, trying to smear me.
Well, he insists he's not anti-Semitic after a news report revealed that he and his ex-wife had once starred in a series of live-streamed porn videos. Orwell seemed to think that one of the reporter's ethnic backgrounds had something to do with it. You kept referring to it as the Jewish reporter, the Jewish journalist, and I wasn't sure why.
We're Jewish.
What does that have to do with the fact?
The fact is that Gentile journalists weren't coming after me for having a white neighborhood. Jewish journalists were.
Then there was this post where another person on X wrote, I do not blame all the Jews for everything. Don't hate Jews for being Jews. Orwell responded, have you considered that you might not know enough about Jews yet?
I don't think that's a direct quote. And it could be a fake account. Yeah,
it is.
Show me.
This is off of your X account.
Yeah, I didn't mean to insinuate that you should hate Jews for being Jews. Blaming Jews for everything, I may have been a bit tongue-in-cheek there.
And there's a post where he appeared to defend Adolf Hitler, saying, interesting that you don't even acknowledge the alleged Jewish wrongdoing or what punishment that would merit if true. Do you believe that the Jews had it coming from Hitler?
Had it coming. I mean, it's not my place to judge.
It seems to me that saying there is no reason at all to murder 6 million Jews is an easy answer.
Yeah, well, I don't know that 6 million Jews were murdered. I don't know that. We can have dozens of these communities within the next 5 years. We can have hundreds of them if we keep the momentum up.
As for his hopes to establish whites-only communities, Orwell says he thinks Donald Trump's administration provides the best hope to establish a new legal precedent.
I don't know if he personally would condone what we're doing, but I think he's enough of a true conservative that he would believe that we have the right to do it.
And Orwell tells me he's getting lots of support for his idea, enough so that he has been able to quit his job and focus on this project full time. Asked if any of that money is coming from the millionaires or billionaires who are trying to re-engineer American society, he claimed he did not know for sure, although he added that he is getting some, what he described as very large donations. Rory?
Phil, thank you. We know you're going to keep watching this. This is one of many investigations Phil has produced in the last 2 years documenting the rise of hate in our state. You can check out Phil's previous reports on our website, newschannel5.com/hate.